Hey, what's up, everybody? It's KyFy. I'm glad you could be here, and I hope you're having a good day because this is going to be another good reading. It's going to be a question and answering type of reading. So basically, we're going to have 10 questions. You can actually have unlimited, but it depends on who you are and how much focus you can have on each one of these questions. So before we even get started, I ask that you think about one thing that you're going through really hard and try to stay on that one topic. If you can't, that's cool, but don't worry about it. So once again, I welcome you to the Zin-Finity Board. Basically, this is going to be known as the masculine approach to tarot, and it's going to be a really good type of reading style. It's a whole new type of reading style. It's going to be for the community, and this is the reason why I'm creating the app. It's called ZFi, or Zin-Finity Board, as you just see right now. As I get the ball rolling, basically you're gonna have an app that has everything that I'm gonna be talking about, but with the readers that you love and adore and admire, basically. So with all that said and done, let's get started with the reading. I only got a few messages, so let me just start with it right now. If words are spells, where is the wand? If you can't control what you say, who is the caster? And then it's going to be a message of they work through us. And I owe that message to Rashad Jamal, or Rashad Jamal, right? So basically, when you think about those messages, if words are spells, where's the wand? Your tongue is the wand if you're going to be spelling words out and speaking them. Speaking is the action of the magic casting. So when you understand that somebody's triggering you, it's magic at hand. Like before, when I was younger, we had a really vague sense of what the magic of this world really is, right? But in the ether, when we started to basically study it, this is what we're figuring out. All of these emotions have kind of consciousness to it. So there is a consciousness of fear, there's a consciousness of guilt, shame, grief, despair, and all of these negative things that basically are around us and occupy us if we allow it. So that can go hand in hand with the people that are around you. What are they saying to you that could be triggering you, and what kind of energies are they allowing through them to work to your deficit, right? So with that said, I think you got the idea of what the message says. So think of these questions. We're going to get started real quickly. I'm going to get some of these cards down, and then we're going to go ahead. So, what just happened? If you've been following me, you should check some of my previous videos because they give you a good sense of what's happening right now. But I'm going to go through it really quickly. Basically, every one of these 10 spots that you see right now is a perspective in your mind. The Zin-Finity Board encases your mind in a certain way where you can understand how the body, mind, soul, and spirit works with each other along with your perspectives and you at the same time. So it's basically the whole matrix. and we're dealing cards on them. So that goes with your first question. What's basically my goal is to give you, God, you know, however you would say it, an idea of a checklist when you go up the chakras from the root to the crown. And when you unblock these energies, I'm going to explain what that means when they're off suit and off element. Like, which one? This one right here. This one should be fire because it's in holding that sack, and that's the solar plexus, right? So I'm going to just leave that right there right now. So that's blocked for you. In a sense, I'm going to go all the way up the line to the crown. And once we get to the crown, think about it as now you have full access to your power. And when we come back down the line, we're going to get like a sense of what kind of work needs to be done, right? Then the third part of the reading is, well, that was the second part. The third part of the reading is basically deciphering everything. And with a little help from the oracle cards, we can get a sense of the domains in your mind also. So without further ado, let's get started. So first up, we have in the root chakra, right? The nine of pentacles, and this is on suit. So your question here is who, what, when, where, why, how, and I am. So how I am. How I am the way I am. Let me say it this way. Why am I like this? Are you upset? Are you angry? Are you driven? Are you happy? Are you at peace? Are you things like that? So according to whatever you focused on, and this is your focus right here, understand that this triangle is working with your spirit and your mind to get to the same goal. So your goal is here, but just keep that in mind. But first off, I am. How are you? Am I doing great? Why am I doing this, God? Or why do I do this? That's the why that you ask right here. Why am I the way I am? Right? Next up is your side, which is the sacral chakra, and this is represented by the Six of Cups. Now, this is also on suit, and what that means is your emotions and your fears are in order, are being checked basically by you. So this is not a problem for you. Fear is not a problem for you, and your emotions are not a problem for you. That's off the rip. So whatever questions you have here, discerning where I feel, why do I feel like this? What am I feeling? Who made me feel like this? When did I start feeling like this? Why do I feel like this? And how is it affecting me? Those are like the focuses of whatever you decided. So moving on from there, we have the Six of Cups. It's a lot of abundance, but you can understand that we have our ups and downs with it. So even though you have a control, it's going to take a little bit more time before you master it. But the fact that you know that is a great position to be in, because it's only growth from there. And you're not going to actually turn back, because when you decided to lift the veil in the first place, you knew you couldn't go back. Right? But going up the line, here's where we have a little bit of trouble. Where it comes to I do. Why do you do the things? According to how you act, how you are, and how you feel. What are you doing when it comes up to this main question that you have, your focus, right? What are you doing? This is out of order. And what that means is this is polar opposite, and it cancels out the whole fire process. You have no will to do these things, even though you have no fear and the emotions attained. The will is out of whack. Maybe you have obligations or responsibilities or basic like knowledge setbacks, you know, things that you need to learn before you go forward. So that's that kind of thing. So this question, why can't I do the thing I want to do? You know, that could be a question. You never know, but it's up to you. Moving on, we have the King of Pentacles, which is also offsuit. So now that this is also polar opposite, air, earth blocks air completely, right? So it causes air to go in a certain way. It causes you to think a certain way according to a belief that you have. And this belief is so strong, you think that you're sitting in your power, and there's something about that power that you have that you need to see from a different perspective so you can understand how it's actually a deficit, right? So yeah, this is all face value, but I'm getting the elements right now out of the way. So next up, we have this one right here, which is desire, and it's Gebuda. Before, this is the heart chakra, if I didn't say it before, and this is Gebuda, which is the first of three when it comes to the throat chakra, ether, basically, right? So we have Gebuda, Chesed, and Da'at. So let's go from Gebuda. Gebuda is the place of desire. So according to everything that you know so far, you see how it's going up the chain. I figured out how to work with the mind, and you have to work backwards sometimes because you're in the present time and you got here somehow. So there was a chain of events that's got you to this place that you won't really see unless you go backwards. You turn around and say, what was I actually running from? What was I running to? When you take a pause, you can see the whole game. It's a game you've been playing with yourself, a game somebody been playing with you, right? It's up to you to see how that, resonates with you. And if this does resonate with you and you like my content, like and share. As I said before, this is for readers. So imagine your reader. I have a few readers that I admire, that they inspire me. I'm not gonna give their names yet. But I can't wait to see them read on this. I'm gonna be their favorite, like their favorite number one fan, 100%. Yeah. So going on, like I said, 8 of Wands is out of whack. So even though you have the strength in what you think you desire, let me explain why this is out of whack. The heart chakra is air, and this is water. So that means that this spot must be air or water. And the fact that it's not, there's something affecting the way you think what you think you desire. So you're not desiring the right things to get this whole thing done. That's what it's talking about. Or at least there's a blockage here. We'll talk about it later. So I desire. Why do I desire these things? What am I after? Who inspired me to desire these things? Who, what, when, where, why do I desire, right? Get that in. Next up is Chesed, which is will, which is one of the first problems that you had going up the chain, right? Now, your will is basically free. And if you don't feel free, most likely you're not at peace with whatever you're thinking about right now. That's right here. And this is like a physical block. This is the physical side. This is the mental, not mental. This is the masculine side. This is the feminine side. Physical, astral, ethereal, right? Yeah. So the 4 of Pentacles right here is actually on suit. And what does that mean? I think I might have said it was blocked, but that was just the first time. But the 4 of Pentacles is on suit because there's fire and earth here. So earth is giving you that sense of will. But when it gets to your solar plexus, the thing that keeps it up. Like, you can start it easily. You hold on to it, maybe too tight, but when you get a good rhythm with it, it always seems like it just dies out, or something goes on, something happens when you can't concentrate, right? There's a lot that goes on with your divinity. So how does that equate to you? So moving on, what do we have? We have the 3 of Swords right here, which is in your place of knowing. So I know. This is also the beginning and ending of all things. The beginning and the ending of all things, where it comes up to your knowledge, right? So what is it about your knowledge? Okay, when you see this 3 of Swords right here, usually you see heartbreak. But heartbreak is the fuel of your knowledge. So basically you believed a certain amount of things, right? And when you realize, in realization, you had a little, you are emotional about it. But when you decided to let it go, it fueled whatever else that you needed to do. So that's what this is. There's a certain amount of things that you believe and know that you need to study again. You need to look at it again. You need to look over the information again. Don't move. Don't do anything before you get a second, not opinion, because this is you. Maybe you have too many people giving you opinions, and that's not good either, because you rely on that too much, you won't trust yourself. So even though you might do the wrong thing first, you'll recognize and you'll learn from your own mistakes, and you'll begin to trust yourself because now you're experienced enough to go through it. So yeah, so that's online. So, well, that's in on suit, that's what I was saying. Yeah, so now that was the throat chakra. This is the third eye, Bina and Hokmah, right? It's represented in this box right here, but to give it more space and, you know, to make it one down triangle, one up triangle, that kind of thing. You know, I'm an artist too. I'll put it this way. Basically, this is the third eye, and it has two other types of questions. Now, let me get to it. When it comes up to Hokmah, no, let me go to Bina first, sorry. Going backwards. Bina represents what you want. So wanting and desiring, two different completely things. What you truly want comes from the self and the soul, right? What you desire can get, you know, your fantasy usually takes over when you desire. But your dream is where the desire lies. So even though you have a mind to think beautiful things, to want beautiful things that you really swear you want and need, right? This is want and desire. I mean, this is need and desire. What you need is in line. But look at here. You can't even touch it. You can't touch what you need right now. Because I just have to say it, there's a certain amount of lessons you need to learn, and that's one of the hardest things. Patience. You got to go through something, and it seems like you know what it is because you're willing, because ain't no warrior like you get into that position unwillingly. You let it happen. So I'm proud of you with that. When it comes up to Hokmah, this is the okay. Before I get there, why do I need this thing? Who do I need? What do I need? When do I need it? And who, what, when, where, why do I need? Now, next up is Hokmah, and this is on the light side, right? That was the dark, this is the light of the third eye. And basically, it's represented by the Nine of Swords, and this is offsuit. So this is more of the path, but this is also represents what you want. You're gonna go for what you want, and you need a certain amount of you need a plan to get there. So that's basically where all the planning gets affected and wanted. No, the planning happens in the mind, and you are in your divinity with the mind. But when it comes up to where you're going, your mind is in the way, your fantasy is in the way, or at least the union or the dream that you have, your mind is in the way. And I think you know that because there's a lot of, like I said, despair before. This is the despair. This is, honestly, I'm through with it. It's about to be finished, so let's get it done, right? Let me make sure it's like this. Alright, so what else? Next up is what crowns the reading. So, like I said, we didn't even start reading right now. We got your questions and what's happening. So, this, what we did just now was Ayin. And I know I'll probably put it in the, before I started, I probably put it in the screen, but I didn't say it. So let's get what crowns the reading now. So this is the Knight of Wands, and it is fire, and it is in the perfect place that it needs to be when it comes up to the crown, because that's that soul energy. Your soul is basically where all the emanation comes from, and that's a fire type energy. So you are in your right with it. And also, you are knighted, so you went through the dark night already. But getting out of it, you got to understand that you can fall off. It's not impossible. Or at least they'll try to make you fall off. But they're gonna have to get past what you know about yourself now. And that seems impossible for them, because he ain't got no strife. He's out here. So this is the place of being. So I be. This is the different type of question you need to ask yourself. Like, where does it come from? your being. Everything that you want comes from your being. Before you get a sense of knowing it, before it hits your mind, or before you can actually process it, it comes from a pure place. And that's this place. What is the secret of you? What am I supposed to do? Why am I here? Like, this is the kind of question you ask right now. Why am I here? Clearly you're here for something great. Let's see. So what's gonna happen now is Soph. In the Tree of Life, let me explain it now because I didn't. In the Tree of Life, you have Ein Sof 4s at the top of it. If you've been looking at it, or if not, you could Google it. It's right there. But basically, I did Ein already. Now, Soph has to do with the environment. And basically... Hold on. So, Soph has to do with the environment. And that's not only what it means. The domain in your mind and the environments that they occupy, whether it be internal or external, are being represented by Soph or Sophia, right? So starting off with the emanation that I described before, and this is represented by jealousy. Funny, right? So you have a nature to go get it, but it seems like you don't know what to go get, and everything that you've seen seems attractive. So how do you find out what you truly need if there are so many good things around you that you find beautiful? And this, I knew the beauty was off right here, is the King of Pentacles. What you believe. You believe that somebody else's thing is for you. So how does that equate, right? Or somebody else thinks that what you're doing is for them. You know, people are selfish, or you could be selfish, whichever one. You gotta have discernment. We're here to learn, not to just be perfect. Perfection is dead, and there's a reason for that. Don't ever try to be perfect, because God made you. You're basically a thumbprint of God. You're one of God's thumbprints. You try to change it, it's like not disobeying God. It's like disrespecting what God created, almost. Work with what you have. So let's get jealousy for emanation right now. Let's see what it says. Envy, jealousy, bad vibes. This card comes as a warning, not that all is not as it seems, or maybe it is. There may be some jealousy being presented or projected to you at this time. Fear not. This warning is here to provide you with enough distance to take the necessary action to protect your heart, mind, and energy. Or perhaps the good old compare and despair monster got you wishing or longing for what other is doing. Okay, we understand what jealousy is. I don't have to really describe it to you, but understand that that's not the energy that you need to be emanating from. Your ideas should not come from jealousy and what other people have. Your ideas should come from like that childlike imagination of yours. That's where it should come from, because it's the most true thing you can offer to this world. Anything else is a fake. Not a fake, it's a copy. And why would you want to be a copy? Next up is the world of creation, and this is in your divine feminine, basically, like, and it's represented by protection. So let's get it. You are protected. You are safe in all matters of the body, mind, and spirit. Your highest guidance has you covered on all fronts. Do not delay in moving forward. If inquiring about a relationship situation or how to proceed, please take this as a sign that you are taken care of, and harm to none will be had. Meditate on this symbol when you feel like you need to strengthen your energy. See, it says harm to none, and that's funny because payback is attractive. Harm to none is calling you to hold back, or at least find a way to get away from the people who can't hold back on you, right? So if you don't know how to control the situation, you do know how to control yourself. So do that to the best of your ability. And we expect that from people, but we can't expect the best out of anybody. We just gotta work with what people give you, honestly, or not at all, right? It's up to you. Moving on, we have in the mind, or the world of formation, divinity. That was the spirit, this is the mind. So in your mind is a divine, like source. So let's see what it says. You are divine, and this message comes with a warning and blessing. Drawing this card invites you to proceed with love over fear. No matter what your situation or relation, proceed only from a place of unconditional love, reverence, and understanding. Life is filled with choices. Make sure they are the ones that you respect, all involved, including yourself. Meditate on this symbol when you want to connect with the unseen elements, beings for support. So as I said before, they work through us. So that is the negative and the positives. If the positives work through you, it comes off differently. Like, if somebody ever came to you like sad or something like that, next thing you know, you just had the words to say, and you said it. You was like, huh, look at what I did. Okay. Okay. They worked through you, and you worked with them to help that person. Same thing for the negative. So, and it's funny with identification. When you identify these energies, these emotions, you can tell where it's coming from. So you know which way to respond to it. Oh, this is an emotion of fear. This is an emotion of despair. How should I respond to this? Or I have despair in my heart because of something that triggered me. How should I respond to it? Now, in the heat of the moment, unless you're prepared, it's going to come out and it's going to be explosive. So be careful. But you are in your divinity. Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. And you would be rewarded tenfold. Like, because one of the hardest things to do is to walk away. Not even, I wouldn't say harder than this, but another hard thing to do is to cooperate. Even with yourself. Oh, I gotta do this to obtain this? Yeah. A lot of people, like, weight is a big issue, but oh, I gotta do this to obtain this? It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You dream about it. You fantasize about it. So when your dreams and your fantasies align, that's perfect. So it's something that you'll have unlimited energy for should you even start it. But those emotions and those energies, those consciousness of despair keep coming back. They basically deter you from starting anything. Oh, it won't work out. Oh, see, it won't work out. That's what this is. It won't work out. Nothing will go right when it comes up to this. It will never happen. And that's, for some reason, where you're going because of your jealousy. Of course it's not going to work for you. There is something that you do special in this world. This is going to be my saying that everybody hears in every reading. There's something that you do special in this world. That's like that thumbprint. Wherever you are, even if it's not copying somebody, even if it's in the same profession, it would never have the same effect that you can bring, even though you admire that person. That person has nothing on you in your domain where God ordained you to do what you do best. Nobody can do it better. You just got to find out where that place is. And that place comes from the heart. So if you believe that somebody else's thing is for you, you would never have the space for it, because this requires a lot of faith. So belief in the wrong thing that you're not seeing, or faith over what you think that you can bring, or what you think you desire, truly desire. Faith in a dream that you have, irregardless of whatever. Yeah, we see where this is going. So for the physical world of manifestation, we have Asiya, and well, we have power. So let's see what that says. I like this card because it's like a top of a staff, but it's also a mirror, right? You are powerful, you are worthy, you are sovereign. It is time to remember your worth. Drawing this card invites you to take your place, like I just said, the starring role of your life. There is no need to play small here. You are being granted permission to display your strength for all to see at this time. It does no service for you to hide your gifts. Drawing this card can also indicate that it is time for you to call your power back from any situation where it may have been taken or given away. Giving away is the harsher one, because to recognize that you gave it away is like, me? I did that? I allowed myself to be this like type of thing that, I allowed that? It's disgusting. No, somebody else did it. It wasn't me, right? But as long as you keep pointing that finger, it doesn't matter who it actually is. You took part in it because you allowed it. Doesn't matter who you point to. If you were good in your soul, whatever they said would have never affected you. And that's the real truth. So learn yourself so nobody can talk over you. Talk that negativity to who you are. It would be unshakable when you start to learn yourself. Walk in your truth, walk in your divinity, right? So that's enough for that part. Let's get down to the second part, which is clarifying these cards, basically the cards that are off, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 cards that are off. So let me get these cards down for you right now. Okay. Alright, so basically what just happened? Clearly, if you were paying attention to it's fast, but if you were paying attention to this, when it comes up to your heart chakra, it's completely out of whack. No air came up. Am I bugging? No air came up. Yeah. I could have kept going and I kept going, but no air came up. So what does that mean? This requires a whole transformation before you get moving with it. So don't worry about the space you need to do the thing. Just worry about the training it needs, or the training you need to actually maintain it. Maybe let me not even start talking about that. Let's start with the top of the crown. Basically, this is going to be or. So Ein Sof or. And what we're gonna do is get the descriptions of everything in order so we can get the full story and start answering some of these questions you have, right? You've probably been answering these questions yourself, and you got a good idea on what needs to be focused on already. But here's where we get down to the nitty-gritty. So this is my favorite descriptions of the cards book. It's from the Wise Spell Tarot deck, the black cards. And let's get started. Starting off with the crown, we have the Knight of Wands. Like I said, it's in order, but let's see what it says for you. So, courageous, energetic, charming, heroic, rebellious, hot-tempered, free-spirited. Now, these are good things to have to defend yourself. But the thing is, if somebody is coming at you in a way where you can't tell where yourself lies, you're going to be anxious and moving around. You're going to be fighting to win the situation in order to know where you are, or force where you are into existence. Like, to force clarity, to force stabilization. But the opposite of force is love, right? So loving the situation gives you different benefits and different reactions. But that also means that nobody can control you. So no matter what they do, the only thing that they were able to do so far is tweak your desires the space you have in your mind and in your outer world when it comes up to your rhythm, because you know they can throw a curveball any day, or you can be thrown a curveball by you, like you know how this works, is you and them at the same time. If they do it, you also allowed it. So I can't never say you not you. It's crazy. It's also frustrating. But yeah, other than that, it was your path. So if they got your space and what you do, of course you can't go to the thing because you didn't truly know what you desire. So the first one up is the path. Now, how this board works, your needs, it's told and fueled by your spirit to give you a desire, which you actually register. But you can know your needs too, but your desires come up more frequently because it's guarded. If you look at this triangle right here, by your mind. This is the eye of your mind, is the desire. The eye of your spirit is the will. Or at least the force of the spirit is the will. The force of the mind is desire, right? So that's that one. Let's move on. Well, I actually started it backwards, but whatever. I'll go to 0 because it's 0 then 1, right? 0 is the I. That one was for your being, who you are, why you are, and we get a good sense of that. Moving down the line, well, back up a little bit, but whatever. I messed up. It's the 3 of Swords. Let's get it. So, heartbreak, separation, sadness, grief, sorrow, upset, loss, trauma, and tears. So, grief is obviously in the heart, right? You've been doing things out of a jealous eye for so long, you don't actually have the space to do it. Because you're in somebody else's domain. You're in somebody else's gift base. Like, you don't work there as well as they do, or as well as this talent does. You know what I mean? So how can you cope? You can't. You got to be yourself. What comes out of you makes you feel the best, long lasting. Yeah. And like I said before, the knowing of it is the hardest part. Knowing that, oh, I really didn't want this. I saw this person in this light. Maybe they were getting some kind of limelight that you were attracted to. You never know what it is. You got to discern it. You got to identify it, truly what it is. Because when you get the word, then the demon is unmasked. Oh man, I was hiding behind sadness. Now that you see me, I have to find another way to hide. But the thing is, once that veil come up, it's going to be hard for them because you're getting more powerful, right? So goes for other people too. Next up is your path or your want, right? It started off with the 9 of Swords, so let's get it. Fear, anxiety, negativity, breaking point, despair, nightmares, isolation. Now, isolation in your path, if you didn't know that you were constantly working with spirit, know this now because you were never alone. Once you tap into that third eye power, once you tap into that universal sense, once you tap into that empathetic sense, right? You start to feel good just at certain times. Like, why am I feeling so good? You know, you got people backing you up. If you were ever having an argument or something like that, and next thing you know, you were happy. Like, how did that happen? You got people backing you up. Know that you're not alone, even if you have nobody around you. Alright? So, Page of Swords is the next one. So, now that's powerful because it was all this despair before, and then you decided to pick up the sword and follow who you are instead, right? So, but it's still not the right energy to have in there because this is fire and earth. It's nothing to actually work with. You can't walk on air. Your mind is in the air, right? So your head is in the clouds a little bit, but now you have the power. So that's more daydream. Instead of a fantasy, it's a daydream now. What do you daydream about? Where do you see yourself when you daydream? And it ended off in the right suit with the 8 of Wands, right? So let's get that. apparently once you start discerning your daydreams, you'll have movement, speed, progress, quick decisions, sudden changes, excitement. The Eight of Wands represents forward movement, momentum, and action. This card suggests stalled projects and endeavors will be picking up at great speed. Momentum has finally arrived. Now, momentum is up to you to hold the momentum. Whatever you acknowledge or seen yourself doing, pick it back up. Try to keep it up as much as you can. I understand that everything is going to be stopping you from doing it, but that's only a thought. When you really get down to it, you have time, because God will give you the time to do whatever you need for yourself. Watch things just disappear around you. It's like, I thought I had to worry about that, but that's not even an issue. It's all in this Three of Swords. The heartbreak. After the heartbreak, you have the space, because the heart is the space, right? And if you're breaking it, you're breaking a chunk off, but it has to grow back. But that's up to you now. That little piece is in God's hands if you give trust to him, right? And it'll be a little piece of your heart that you can control forever, with God's help, with your you know how that goes. So next up is desire. Oh, wait. Sorry. Next up is Bina, which is the dark energy of the third eye, right? And it's represented by the Eight of Swords. Let's get it. Eight of Wands, Eight of Swords. I just realized that. Let me see if there's any more eights. I'll find out. Eight of Swords. Trapped, restricted, victimized, paralyzed, helpless, powerless, and imprisoned. Now this powerless, you have power right here. And you remember what the power said. Believe in yourself, basically. You are worthy. You are worth it. So since you knew you were worth it, you decided to put some of these burdens down. You're worth it. These burdens won't actually hurt you. They can't actually stop you from doing anything. And it was all a facade, a veil that stopped you from moving. So what is it about what you want that you have to give up? Or at least you know you have to give it up. But how hard is it going to be? You know, you believe that it's going to be hard. So therefore it is. Right? Strong beliefs in this heart space right here. But let's just keep going. After Bina, you have Chesed. So let's get it right now. This is the Four of Pentacles. Alright. So possessiveness, insecurity, hoarding, stinginess, stability, security, savings, materialism, wealth, frugality, boundaries, and guardedness. You are determined to protect that little bit of will that you will get. Like, that you, when you get the chance to go after this, nothing will stop it. And that's the kind of mind that you have. And that's good. That's the reason why it's there. It's very sturdy, stable. It's something to hold on to. It's something, you know, something to build on. Right? Alright, so this is in the place of I will. So let's move on from there. We have I desire. And it started off with the Eight of Wands, Eight of Swords. Eight of Wands was right here too. And the Eight of Wands was here originally. So it popped up here afterwards. So let's see. And I literally just said that this is the power of your mind. It's the desire. Or the source of your mind. Right? So the source is in the right place. And it required the High Priestess to balance it. So let's see. You desired to skip the lessons. Yeah. That's what that is. I don't even got to talk about it. That's harsh. But understand that it's all... Not all of it is in your mind. There is work that is required from you, but it's not as hard as you think it is, because it's for you. You are bred for it. It comes out of you naturally. You just got to get all over the thoughts about it. So the High Priestess came up next, Major Arcana energy. So let's see. Unconscious intuition, mystery, spirituality, higher power, inner voice. So like I was saying before, you have these notions to want to say things to help people. You have these, like it says, inner voice to, maybe I should do this time. I shouldn't react this way right now. I see what this is. Isn't this the same thing that happened before? So now you have kind of a step back power. Like, let me step back real quick and see the scene, what's going on, what I could do. It's a triple threat position, right? That's what it is. Your desires are a threat to somebody, but that's none of their business. So both of y'all gotta get over it, right? Like I said, anytime I point at them, I'm pointing at you because you allowed it, right? So both of y'all gotta get over it. Next up, we have the heart space. So this is the most painful of places in the reading. Basically, this is your place of I love. I don't think I said it before. What do you love? What's beautiful to you? I love. Why do I love this thing? Who do I love? What do I love? These are all the things that either deter you or help you in your journey. So this is very important. So let's start with the King of Pentacles, which is these beliefs that I was talking about before, but let's see. So, abundance, prosperity, security, ambition, safety, kindness, patriarchy, protectiveness, businessman, provision, sensuality, reliability. No trust in spirit. No trust in what was for you. No trust in it. The things that are in front of you, if it's not practical, you don't trust it. And spirit is not working from a practical sense. The thing that you are here to do is probably not created already, right? You probably don't have a pure guide to it. It's probably original creation, right? This is an original creation. I didn't know what this was coming from, but it's right. Yeah, it's a lot of things that go into what you bring to the world. But this is the reason that you can never see. I don't see the Fool card. I don't see any Fool energy, right? I see power, but I don't see any Fool energy. All right. So next up is, by the way, it did not complete. So let's see what it says. We're going to get down to this. Is what you love that's really a heavy thing on your mind and what keeps you up at night, it seems. That's the kind of thing that would be there. So the Five of Wands was next. Obviously, conflict, competition, arguments, aggression, tension, rivals, clash of ego. Now, ego is on this side. And if ego is on this side, that means that it's blocking the spiritual power. So your ego is out of control. Or your fantasy is overriding your dream. Whichever way you hear it, your ego is in control. I forgot the quote, but it's saying something like, the ego is a bad master, but a beautiful servant, or something like that. Terrible master, beautiful servant. So get your ego in control. It gets you to the place. It can also get you to the wrong place. So that's your ego, right? Moving on, we have the Eight of Cups. I knew another 8 was going to come out. So there's a lot of 8s in this reading. So that's infinity. An infinite feeling of this. It will never go away. That's a belief, right? So, 8 of Cups. Abandonment, walking away, letting go, searching for truth, leaving something behind, right? This is clearly like the emotions that was repeating. The emotions that were repeating is something that you're leaving behind now. So the cycles are basically ending out of your will and your power. And walking away means that other people won't be able to get to you also. So that fear that they have that they won't be able to use you is what's also, you know, stopping you from moving forward. So the Knight of Wands is next. So courageous, energetic, charming. Oh, I already had this. So your essential nature came out in your space. So that means that even though you got a lot of deterrence in what makes your life beautiful, you will still force out a beautiful moment. And that's good, because you got your back regardless of whatever anything thinks, right? Even though you don't have that trust in spirit, you do have a certain amount of trust in yourself. So your nature would get past all of these boundaries, regardless of what you think. So that's a little that supports. Fire supports air, and air supports fire, right? So let's just keep going from there. Another wand. So let's get it. Page of Wands. Adventure, excitement, fresh ideas, cheerfulness, energy, fearlessness, extroversion. That fearlessness came out of you when you just decided to put your foot in there anyway. Like, I'm gonna do this. And you gained a sense of fearlessness. So that's one thing that also scares them. Them is a funny word. Who, what, when, where, why is them, right? Those are the things that are scared. Those are the things, the energies that are attached to you that won't be able to use you no more, that are scared. That's them, right? We keep saying them, but them has an actual definition, the actual place you can look, to define them. So next up was the Hermit. Let me get it. Solo journey, but we all know that part. We kind of get it. So sacrifice, waiting, uncertainty, lack of direction, perspective, and contemplation. The Hermit is an earth card, right? And this is in a place of fire. So going your own way is going to block everything else. Even though you don't know where you're going to go. Just choose. Just choose. It does not matter. I said this in my last reading. The devil wants you to stay still, because that way he can get all of your time until you die. If you stayed still, he got you. If you made mistakes, or even if you did the right thing, he lost. Once you decide to do it, the devil lost. Why? Because you will learn. Devil can't control you once you learn. So don't be afraid to do the thing, because it's for you. You know, I can keep going, but let's keep going. Two of Pentacles. So balancing resources, adaptation, resourcefulness, flexibility, and stretching resources. So these are the resources that you bring to the table, and also the resources that were available to you at the time. But remember, everything that was available to you at the time wasn't fully for you. It could have been a jealous factor. But going on from it, decide which one it is. Am I doing this because I want this and I saw that and it was attractive? Or am I doing this because it's a part of my dream? Your dream is very important, so stick with it. Think of the dream always. Now, what I stopped with, I could have kept going, but what I stopped with was the Tower card, because everything is down now. It's just, all right, everything is going to be replaced. Everything is going to be revived in a sense. If it was dead, it's going to be revived. Replaced, you feel lonely. You feel a sense of loneliness right now. So the Tower card. But the good thing about it is that the Tower card is a fire card and it supports air. So it's still good. So disaster, destruction, upheaval, trauma, sudden changes, and chaos. Now, the craziest thing about chaos is that after chaos is creation. After it's done, it will be formed into something else, because that's just the way the forces work. Like, all energy is transformed. It's never like deleted. It's going to do something, right? So that's the Tower, is letting you know that your life is about to be transformed. And this is good news, because what was here before didn't work for you. This is good news. Change is good. You got to be willing to do it. 2 ways that God can help you. You can help God, give God the space to do it, meaning like you can make these decisions that give you that sense of emptiness that I was talking about in my last reading. Emptiness is a sign of freedom, because the last reading I said the title is, what if the emptiness you feel is the space you prayed for, right? So when you have nobody, that's when you can decide to have God. The emptiness can be filled just like that, because God is just waiting for the door, waiting for you to let him in. You know what I mean? So moving on to the solar plexus, which is I do or I act. I act this way. Why do I act this way? Why do I do these things? Who, what, when, where, why, right? So it started off with the 5 of Cups. Little emotional, you know, you had, this is missed opportunities, but let's see. So, loss, grief, disappointment, sadness, mourning, discontent, and feeling let down. The discontent is everything. You were not going to stop until you find it. And that's good. But it's an emotional process. And what came up after that is the Strength card. Now, the Strength card is a fire card, and that means this is complete, but it's reversed. So let's see what's happening. The Major Arcana came out in the end to just kind of help out everything. So the Strength card reversed: self-doubt, weakness, low confidence, inadequacy, cowardice, and forcefulness. That's the only thing that's helping us right now. So let me read it. A reverse Strength card can mean that you are or about to experience an intense anger or fear in your life. You seem to be lacking the inner strength that this card normally represents, meaning you might be experiencing fear and lack of conviction and confidence in your own abilities. The reverse love meaning is self-esteem issues, insecurity, and negativity about love. Now, love, I don't see love as love anymore. It's connected to balance. When this energy is balanced, meaning like if you was to operate as you know these things now, because the energy is balanced from the crown to the root, then you have movement in your life. Once the movement is there, like I said before, the devil wants you to stay still. Now you're moving and you're constantly winning, regardless if you think you're losing or not. You're winning because you're making decisions, you're doing the things, you're not having regrets other than, oh, it did not lead me to the right place, but now I learned. Now it's only learning experiences. It's not failure anymore. It's a chance. It's a new chance. Oh, it's an answer. It's not a failure anymore. It's an answer. All right. So moving on from there, we have the 6 of Cups. So this is in the right. Nostalgia, memories, familiarity, healing, comfort, sentimentality, and pleasure. This is the pleasure center. So this is asking you to remember the feelings of when you were in a state of pleasure. When you were at a state, when you were in a beautiful time in your life. Thank you. I couldn't even get it. A beautiful time in your life. Just start thinking about that, because those energies, remember I said those consciousnesses around you can help you to get to that place. If you embody that energy, you go in that direction. So it's almost like you're holding the tip of an arrow and now you're being forced to the direction of at least that energy. So if you have the energy of confidence, let me just hold on to a little bit of confidence. I'm going to get to that confident area regardless if it's slow or not, but I'm going in that direction. Then when I get used to going this speed or whatever the arrow's going, you know what I mean? Now I can start making plans, even though I'm still holding on to this strength for going this way, right? It's within your power to do. All it requires is a little bit of like it said, memory. That childlike thing that I just mentioned in the beginning. When you were a child, you had the best dreams, right? You had the best memories. You had the best experiences, or you had some of the worst experiences, and that gave you what you wanted in your life very early on, and you've been fighting for a long time. So whichever way it happened to you, having a bad thing when you were younger or a good experience when you were younger still gave you the answer. Yeah. So the Six of Cups is how you feel. So let's get on to the next one, which is the last one before I start the next part of the reading, which is the Starstream. The Starstream, I'm gonna get to it. So the Nine of Pentacles in the root. It's on suit, so it's good. So because of this brute force that you have when it comes into your being, the fact that you would get your lick in too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what's happening. There's something that's going to benefit me. If they really don't think it's going to benefit me. Like that stubbornness that comes out of that. This is what the Nine of Pentacles is talking about. And 9 is the number of the self. Right? So rewarded efforts, success, achievement, independence, leisure, material security, and self-sufficiency. Now that comes between what you need to do for yourself and not a jealous factor. For some reason, only be jealous of God. Why? Okay, let me finish what I'm saying. Only be jealous of God and the fact that he knows what's beautiful coming next to you. Like, ooh, I can't wait, God. I know you know, I just can't wait to know it too. That kind of jealousy. Not the, I want to be God too. No. Like, or I'm better than, no. Yeah. That was a little tricky, but okay. So, next up, like I said, is the Starstream. And how does that work? Basically, I get my oracle cards again, and I'm going to start determining what you do when it comes up to this area, this area, this area, and this area. So, it goes in like an infinity. You can do this timelessly, and it's about your ascension, right? So, let me get it. And I'm gonna call it out as I get to it, but let's just do it this way. Experimentation, then you have expression, then you have integration, then you have transcendence, and that's how it works. So for experimentation is shadow. This is shadow work. But your shadow, okay, when you think of a mine is in the dark, but it has a lot of gems in it. And when you go within that mind of yourself, who you are, which has all the gifts, everything that you came with, everything that you came for is already with you, right? When you go into that shadow working, right, you find gems and gifts and things that you can use. Gold, you know, you find everything. It's all there. You just gotta go digging. Oh, I put that there by mistake, but okay. That is transcendence, and that's the karmic path. Your karma will lead you to the space that you want. So you are in good standing with spirit and God and all of it. You are in good standing. But also, automatic karma is also the devil. Because you know, the effects will happen faster to you, just so you can get it out the way and keep going in your path. It's like, imagine you're driving 250 miles an hour on a straightaway, and it's divinely ordained for you. But when you do things that require karma to come back to you, it's gonna be this left turn, right turn, this bump, traffic, but just still in your lane, and that's your karmic path. Should you decide to go that route. So just be careful. Walk in your divinity, right? I really just explained that one. But when it comes to your integration, it's the full moon. The full moon, is it the half of the waning or the full moon that's more? The full moon is when the energies are up, right? So yeah. Let's get some of these descriptions really quickly. So for the place of experimentation, right, we have shadow, and it goes as follows. What is hiding in the dark? What is it that you're afraid of or don't want to see? See, I'm talking about your fears right now, and I can hardly speak. I had to clear my throat. This card comes to tell you that all cannot be in the light because there must be a balance. As I was saying, balance brings love. Exploring the beast requires you to confront those unhealed parts of yourself. Those aspects you deemed unworthy or unlovable, right? The time is now to bring in those usually concealed spaces so they may be healed appropriately and or banished forever. The shadow or hidden beast is not evil, just misunderstood. However, do tread carefully as you dive into sensitive territory. Humor, although not a solution, can help ease growing pains of learning how to best work and integrate your shadow aspect with compassion. So, the beast. I realized that we are the beast. And that's one of the craziest things that I probably learned this year. We are the ones that can bring out the beast or can bring out the best, right? But the beast is in us. The beast can make anything happen. That's probably the ego, right? That's the beast. We are a part of it. It's a part of us. But the beast also, when you tame it, now you take their domain. That whole big domain that beast occupied. When you start to tame that beast, when that beast becomes less scary, when who you are becomes less scary, the space that's provided to you is only gonna watch. Didn't know how to finish that off, but yeah. Next is affluence. So this is the area of experimentation and expression, and you have to express affluence. So let's see what it says. Wealth in all forms is available to you now. You are rich on all accounts. Drawing this card invites you to feel the abundant flow of having all that you need on the material and spiritual planes. If you are inquiring about a situation or relationship, certainly this indicates that there is much to be experienced here. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You are being provided for and rewarded at this time. So your emotions, when you don't neglect your emotions and work on them and work towards fixing what the problem is, right? That gives you rewards that you can't even see. Rewards that say, okay, maybe it was something karmic heading your way. Now it's not. You won't even know it a lot of the times, because sometimes we can have like stacked karma, bad karma on us, and we just be doing good things to get over that line, right? That's the way I like to think, because that's the way I keep myself in check. I don't know. Moving on, we have the full moon, and this is an integration. So let's see what it says. A ceremony, culmination, or completion of a cycle in time. There is magic here. The full moon has the power to magnify your dreams. The full moon has the power to magnify your dreams, right? It can also take away anything not in alignment with them. Be open to the magic and wonders of all things. Meditate or perform a ritual on the full moon to draw more of her powerful, feminine, receptive energy into your life, projects, and rituals. Now, the rituals and cycles and things like this, the culmination of things, let's just say you went every day for a jog, and what culminates is your circulation in your body, your health, and all that other stuff, right? That's accumulation, culmination of things, and that's a ritual. In a sense, that's a ritual. You wake up every day, you do this. That's ritualistic, right? So these are patterns that you create for yourself that benefit you. And that's talking about the full moon right now. And since it's feminine and receptive, when it comes up to the emotion that you need in order to fuel it, it is saying that allow it to happen. Allow yourself to feel these emotions, to know what it is you need to do. Because a lot of times we run from the emotions and they have the answers. Oh, I'm sad because. And then we just, let's drink. Let's smoke. Don't want to go through it. Go through it as best as you can to gain courage. Alright. So next up is Karmic Path, and this ends the reading. So let's see what it says. This is in the place of transcendence. So how you transcend is basically how you level up. After you then did all the experimentation, expressing yourself, doing the new patterns and rituals, then you create the space with the patterns and rituals. You know what? I don't have to do the things that I've been doing before because I have new steps, new things to do. Yeah, so let's see. Karmic lesson, learning experience, hard work, perseverance, and structure. A new valuable lesson is available to you at this time. This moment requires your due diligence. Pay attention to what is being presented to you. Have you been down this road before? Our souls has come to this earth to learn the valuable lessons and beings for the planet. Let me say that again. Our souls has come to this earth school to learn valuable lessons as beings for the planet. So basically, we come down here for reasons to learn. We come to learn. We can't do that while we're gods up there. We know everything, right? We're absent of time and a body to experience. So we come down here to experience. And this is a timeless thing. This is not your first time. Well, I believe in reincarnation. And I believe that this is not your first time. So you can go with my energy on it, or, you could do a little studying. It'll probably come to you in a video, because once the student, I forgot what it says, the quote. Once the student is ready, the master appears, or something like that. Yeah. What are you being taught right now? This moment may require hard work, but it will have many long-lasting rewards. You are not being punished, but are gaining tools and experience for that living that will be with you for the rest of your life. Drawing this card also tells you that the foundation of what you are building is strong and is part of your legacy. So basically, this board right here goes into circulation like this. But when it comes to experimentation and these things like this, it's infinitely going back up to what you know. And once you learn it, you get to start over and do something different. So that's why it's timeless. You learn something new every rotation, right? The reason why I say that is because your actions get you to where you want and where you know, right? Or where you think you want to go, right? But your inactions will mainly your shadow work, right? When you claim a piece of the shadow, that's basically experience points. I like to see it. I like to say it like that. Experience points. So what are you going to build with that experience points? You're going to put it to your strength, your will, your integrity. You should put it on your heart space, right? So when you learn something about yourself, keep it for yourself. That domain that the beast occupies, everything that you do just to maintain where you go, is available for you to control once you do something like that. All right. So there's just basically, before I end the reading, there's one last thing that I have to say. And this is the place of I am. And it's guarded by the beast, right? The beast is let out when somebody conflicts with who you think you are. When somebody puts you at odds with who you are, the beast comes out to just destroy and own and tame everything around it. But mainly to destroy, because you let him out, or it was let out. You know what I mean? So think about that. This is a place of fear, and the beast can only come out if you're scared. So work on your fears. Don't be afraid to look at them, especially when you're alone, because nobody can actually hurt you when you're alone, right? You're in your mind and you're by yourself. Okay. But with all that being said, like the video, share it with your favorite reader, follow my channel, and I hope you got the best out of what I was giving to you. I hope that this gave you a new perspective. And as I said before, this is for the readers that you love and you admire. So shout them out, let them know that I got something coming out for them. And with that said and done, I'm KyFy. Peace.